Okay, guys. Um, Gotta laugh at yourself as you go through life. All right, so my girlfriends used to joke that my epitaph is going to say just one more thing. And they're so right. All right, so what we have here is our white from earlier, and we have some of our glitter paint. Now, you can tint your glitter paint using watercolors, but if you accidentally get your glitter paint, which is acrylic base, into your watercolors, it will ruin your watercolors. So we're going to be using a little bit of an ultramarine acrylic and a magenta to play with, just so you can see what happens if you add color. If you want to buy the acrylic paints for these purposes, making cards, it's not going to be a final picture if you use the crafters or the folk art paints. Golden paints, these are actual professional watercolor or professional level acrylics, but these are like $1 a piece or less, and these are substantially more expensive paint. Okay, so I happen to have these on hand, and I didn't feel like going to the store and buying a whole bunch more stuff. Okay, I also have an iridescent tinting medium that you can add to your acrylics, or you can add your watercolor paint to it. But again, if you get this acrylic paint into your tray of watercolor paint, it's going to ruin it. So for teaching purposes, we're just going to ignore it, and we're not going to go there. We're not going to worry about it, okay? But it occurred to me that I could take this handprint that I had done earlier, and by the simple addition of a circle of colored paint, it could be like holding up the sun. And if you want to come back with a brush and add in some squiggles and other things and keep playing with it, you could do that too. But just that simple, that you could take a handprint and a circular print and create a work of art. Folks, it doesn't have to be really, really hard. It can be simple things put together in various ways to create all kinds of different images. For these purposes that we're doing today, I think it actually would probably show better if we use the pearl paint, at least until we get some color into it. So I'm going to go ahead and put out some pearl paint, and we're going to test, and we're going to learn together what works and what doesn't. You'll probably be doing this on tinted watercolor paper. I will show you how to do that, or you might even be doing it on white paper and testing to see what happens. But this is a test. Oh, yeah, that probably does in fact show up just a little bit better. If we take and mix in, and this is on a palette, so we're not ruining anything, but mix in some color and experiment with that. Oh, that's really cool. All right, so we experimented with putting some iridescent and some color. We can also experiment to see what happens if we add some of our glitter paint to that and play with that, see what happens. Do different sizes. See what happens. Obviously, if we do that on white paper, we're going to get something totally different. Here's a piece of the back side of a piece of white paper, and we're going to play with it, and we're going to see what happens with that. Obviously, the watercolor paper has a texture, so it's going to take the paint slightly different ways than the flat black paint paper that we have. All right, so every time you add a variable, it's going to change what happens, and that can be a cool thing if you go with it and you learn from it. You don't have to learn everything in 1 minute. You can keep adding to your library of knowledge. All right, so we're going to stop with that because I'm really trying to keep the information I give you more focused on just one thing at a time so that you don't get overwhelmed. All right? Hope that was an interesting little lesson for you, okay? Take care.